Coming up in tonight's bulletin, Rennell and Bellona province celebrated their second appointed day. The Ministry of Health and Medical Services National Surveillance Unit reports a rapid increase in diarrhea cases in health facilities across the western part of the country. And SINU, in collaboration with the University of Adelaide, is hosting a 2-day workshop on Pacific maritime security at the SINU School of Fisheries. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Mahanwa. Rennell and Bellona province marked their second appointed day. Sharon Anau reports.
Rennell and Bellona province celebrated their second appointed day here at Tigua. Now in attendance was the Prime Minister, Honourable Jeremiah Manele, and member for Rennell and Bellona constituency, Honourable John Tuhaika Jr., and also other members of government. Now communities in and around Tigua were also in attendance for the province's second appointed day. The event was celebrated under the theme Celebrating Reform and Progress in Rennell and Bellona Province. Delivering the event's keynote address, Prime Minister Honourable Jeremiah Manele acknowledged the people of Rennell and Bellona's resilience in moving the province forward despite the development challenges faced. Honourable Manele assured the province that his government remains committed to working closely with all the provincial governments across the country.
On that note, Honourable Premier, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge your support, your government support, as you have expressed in your statement that you are committed, that you are keen to work closely with my government. Likewise, the GNOD is committed to working closely with all our 9 provinces, including Rennell and Bellona province. Ladies and gentlemen, for a relatively isolated and small province, I'm aware, and as the Premier has outlined, the past 32 years have not been plain sailing. The challenges of being in the path of tropical cyclones and raising provincial revenues to supplement the fixed service grants from the national government remain daunting. For your forbearance to come this far in 32 years as a province speaks to your ingenuity and resilience. This province has also experienced challenges associated with logging and mining, particularly in areas where government oversight and adherence to national laws have fallen short. In light of these realities, I come before you with a spirit of humility, fully acknowledging the lapses and their consequences. I do so with utmost respect and sincerity, mindful of the impact these issues have had.
Meanwhile, Rennell and Bellona Province Premier Honourable Derek Pongi reflected on the challenges and achievements faced by his government since taking office in 2024.
We gather here today to celebrate the reform and progress in Rennell and Bellona over the past year. It is also a time for reflection to see how far we have come since our establishment as a province, as well as an opportunity to highlight the challenges we face so that we can find solutions to address them together. Over the years, Rennell and Bellona faced numerous challenges that hindered its development. A significant factor contributing to these difficulties was the non-adherence to proper governance and administrative practices. When we assumed office in 2024, we inherited numerous challenges. In the past year, we have seen significant milestone achievements. The first one is Rennell and Bellona province successfully passed the PCDF assessment for the year 2022 and 23, enabling us to access vital development funds. For the first time, work grants have been deposited into World Development Committee's accounts, supporting our communities.
Member of Parliament for Rennell and Bellona constituency, Honourable John Tuhaike Jr., encouraged his people to have a more open mindset towards development in the province.
The theme for this appointed day is very important. It's about reform and it's about progress. For me, reform, physical reform is very important, but the reform of our mindset is also very important. For us to develop, we must have a mindset that is open to development, a mindset that welcomes development, a mindset that partners with the people that come to develop, not just business houses, but also development partners. Progress and development, it's not a sprint, it's a journey, and it's a journey that requires all of us to put our hands together, support the province, support the constituency, support our elders, support our churches, development partners, our government, and Yumi Sabe progress in Yumi as a people. We are Melanesians by nationality, but we are Polynesians by race. But more importantly, we are Solomon Islanders.
Sharon Nana reporting from Tigoa, Rennell and Bellona Province for SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services National Surveillance Unit reports a rapid increase in diarrhea cases in health facilities across the western part of the country. Alex Dadamo with the details.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services National Surveillance today reports that health facilities in the western part of the country are now seeing a rapid increase in diarrhea cases. Surveillance data indicated that cases initially started in Honiara and moved to Guadalcanal province before spreading to other provinces. The surveillance update have now confirmed that diarrhea cases has dropped in Honiara and Guadalcanal province.
So mi fala looking that the trends lo western province hem continue for increase lo this week we have just finished go. So Giza hospital cases hem continue for rise. Helena Goldie also hem continue for reporting increasing numbers, and also this week too mi fala start for noticing data Lotaro Hospital in Choiseul province where hem start for pickup. Hem not that high numbers to us, but them just maybe it's just the start. So overall, what mi fala looking lo surveillance data where mi fala receiving is that cases hem started lo Honiara, and then hem slowly moved to Guadalcanal, and then now that cases lo Honiara and Guadalcanal hem decrease, hem start for move golo provinces. So as Dr. Neme hem been mentioning, mi fala continued for monitoring these cases where hem being reported through lot of surveillance clinics and hospitals Ployumi.
Meanwhile, Deputy Secretary Health Improvement, Dr. Nemia Bainivalu assures that the ministry will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates to support clinics across the country.
Bamifalo Minister of Health, monitoring situation, provide him best advice as possible, and also provide him support kolo at clinics blimi now lo provinces. As we mentioned him, the outbreak where for diarrhea happened in Guadalcanal province. Honestly, Council Temo to Choiseul, Isabel, and now we're looking numbers and go for increase lo Western Province Giza Hospital and Helena Goldie, and also lo Auki Clinic lo Mamaleta. And the important thing now is in terms of, as mentioned by Director Adrian, is in terms of what na by misave doing for prevention before picking hem garam disfalasiki where hem come now for imi garam prevention measures such as please imi try for lanemat picking blame, and also imi general power public too imi big man and woman for practice him na for wash him hand with him soap look at critical times such as before imi prepare him kakai, before imi kakai, and also after him use him to toilet, and also time do magata that you work out jobs where me holem things some ground or other things for before you do my things.
Alex Dadamu, SIBC TV.
SINO, in collaboration with the University of Adelaide, has kicked off a 2-day workshop aimed at strengthening maritime security coordination in the Pacific. Simon Tavake attended the workshop and filed this story.
The Solomon Islands National University, SINU, in collaboration with the University of Adelaide, is hosting a two-day workshop on Pacific maritime security at the SINU School of Fisheries, Rennell campus starting today. Called Charting a Shared Course, Enhancing Maritime Security Coordination in the Pacific, the workshop aims to promote dialogue and strengthen coordination on maritime security among Pacific Island nations and their key partners. In an interview with SIBC TV, SINU Vice-Chancellor Professor Transform Angorau says the workshop serves as an avenue to explore collaborative approaches to maritime security across the region.
The purpose of this workshop, you find there's different people who are coming, there's fisheries, people of defense, and we're just trying to brainstorm as to how we can probably look at the Pacific Islands and help support. And I think there's very good framework for surveillance of fisheries, but there's still largely untapped surveillance of drugs, transnational crime, and border control, and see how we can work together. What can the Pacific Islands do together? And one thing we strongly believe in is, our strength is in being together. And I know we all have our national interests, but I think we can stand on each other's shoulders. When we stand on each other's shoulders and work together, we actually stand taller.
Professor Angorau further added that SINU is working towards building partnerships with other universities to establish a maritime security program.
I think the main outcome we are also trying to get views on people of how national institutions. So we're looking at developing, probably as an outcome of this, a partnership between SINU and these other universities, University of Adelaide, in the development of a maritime security program. So I'm just looking forward to that as a tangible outcome of this partnership, which would be really, really good.
The workshop brought together leading academics and experts from around the Pacific to discuss key priorities, partnerships, and practical strategies for enhancing regional maritime cooperation. The two-day event concludes tomorrow. Simon Tavake, SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification is seeking an additional supplementary funding for the establishment of a national geochemical laboratory facility. Supervising Permanent Secretary Mr. Richardson Raumai highlighted the significance of establishing the facility before the Public Accounts Committee recently during their inquiry into the 2025 Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 and the 2024 Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024.
This investment will re-establish the geochemical laboratory as a center of excellence, delivering high quality and analytical services to key sectors such as mining, environment, water, agriculture, and public health. It will also enhance investor confidence, support compliance with environmental regulations, and generate revenue for the government through fee-based analytical services. We respectfully seek the committee's support for this supplementary budget submission to enable implementation of this nationally significant project to commence this year, 2025.
Mr. Raumai pointed out that the facility established in the 1960s had been rendered obsolete and outdated.
Chair, the current geochemical facility, originally established in the late 1960s during the colonial era, has long been rendered obsolete due to infrastructure and outdated equipment. And as a result, this supplementary appropriation is critical to addressing long-standing capacity gaps that continue to hinder the Geological Survey Division's ability to support modern mineral exploration and environmental monitoring and analysis.
The making of Blackbird has helped to empower Australia's South Sea Islander community. Amy Batalibasi, an Australian Solomon Islander filmmaker and producer, developed the film as part of a project under her master's studies in 2015. Speaking to SIBC TV from Melbourne, Batalibasi emphasizes the importance of storytelling about the history of blackbirding through the lens of Pacific Islanders.
I was just compelled to tell this story. I had been researching Australian South Sea Islander history the year prior to my studies, and we did a storytelling project with the community in Queensland and with my family and community. And from that research, I just learnt so much about the history of blackbirding. That's such an important part of Pacific history and Australian history, and it has had ripple effects around the Pacific. But I realised that in Australia in particular, our stories weren't heard. And if they were told, they were from another perspective, from a perspective that was not our own. So I guess I wanted to make Blackbird to increase awareness and start discussions and, empower our communities to tell our stories.
While researching the history of blackbirding in Queensland, Batalibasi was struck by the images captured during that period.
They struck me because they're quite similar to some of the images that I had seen in terms of the African American slavery photographs and archives. And I kind of just realized, no, that's not the context. The context is here in Australia. Not only that, those photographs are our families, our communities, the Pacific Islander people in Australia. And those photographs they're an insight into who these people are. The names of people aren't mentioned in the photographs. We don't really know who they are, or it's very hard to identify them. Sometimes we can, and as ancestors are beginning to research their families, we're beginning to put the names to those people in those photographs, but they are what really struck me in terms of the archival research that I did for Blackbird, and really inspired down to some of the cinematography that you'll see in Blackbird is really inspired by those photographs.
Looking forward, Batalibasi hopes to create a feature film based on blackbirding using a similar storyline.
Blackbird is only 13 minutes, but I'd like to make a film that's about 90 minutes and really delve further into the history and also this story that is brother-sister-sibling relationship as the central kind of characters. And to do that, there are lots of hurdles to jump. 10 years later, I still haven't made that film. It requires, I guess, time and money, and it requires more research and really traveling to talk to people and kind of create those connections which are already there. I am determined, though, to do that in my lifetime. Sometimes it's proven to be a little bit longer for me. But the reality is that in Australia, if you look at female filmmakers of feature films, and particularly women of colour who make feature films, the statistics are still very, very low. So I'm going to keep trying and find a way to do that.
SIBC TV understands Batalibasi has dedicated the film to 3 family members who were blackbirded and never seen or heard from again. And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.